This is Electric Universe Eyes, and today I pulled out the piece of slate that I was sending an arc discharge to and wanted to observe how the mineral metamorphosed. Somebody made a comment on the last video that it looks like obsidian, which it is a very darkened color. The original color of the slate was gray, and it's since started turning a little bit more brown, and you can see it's more red there at the end. So it appears that the anode was attracting the iron towards the edge, and I have a feeling that once enough got to the edge, that actually started melting it, and forming this metamorphosed version here. So pretty cool. I think what I'm going to do is throw it back on the cathode and zap it some more. You want to play around? Let's do it. Okay, so here's the piece. So you can see all the pitted bubbles, and it looked like it kind of arced through the bottom to where it was resting on the cathode. I remember seeing some little arcs reaching down below. It's a little blackened down there. That was the way that you were viewing it on the camera in the last video. Pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to set that back on the cathode, and I'm going to put it right here in the middle, see if I can't discharge directly on top. Then I'll add some water and see what this turns out to be in the end. I have a feeling it might still be brittle, but this part right here seems like it's extremely brittle. Now it's almost turning into dirt, sand. But this end definitely is much harder. So let's play around. Okay, so in poor man style, I rigged this up. I had to lean my bridge over to get the wires long enough. I could have probably put another lead on there, but I'm lazy. And I got it to dangle just above the top center there, and should give us a nice result. So let's turn it on. Okay, and here comes the juice. All right, then that's all of the remnant moisture that was available. Just sucked it out. And it's a good gap. And you can see just those two areas where it arced to seems to have melted them into little spherules. Let's try this again. And it goes right back to the same spot, and it looks like it made it bigger. Okay, let me add some water. And I don't want to add a whole bunch, so I'm going to use a paintbrush and just dab some on. Here, I'll put it on a little bit on the nail. That doesn't matter, I was just hoping it would drip. I just want a drop of water on there. Well, here, I'll just do that. How about that? There we go. All right. And now that it's had a moment to soak in, let's try to zap it. Well, it definitely ate away a layer. I think it needs more water saturation. In all of my other experiments where I've been able to make Lichtenberg fractals or craters, I will put water on it, let it soak in so the top starts to become more dry than underneath, and then I'll put a little bit more water on top, and that seems to create dielectric layers. So let's try it now. starting to get pretty stinky in here. I see some smoke coming off of it, so I am going to put my breathing mask on so I don't die. At some point, the moisture is going to run out and the arc will discontinue. So I'm just waiting for that point to see what the end result is. I'm looking at this through my phone. I can't look directly at it because it's so bright, but it almost appears like it's, I don't know if it's forming a ring crater. I'll just let it go. Seems like it's searching for the moisture now. It's dried up everything inside that local range, so now it's reaching out beyond that rim. In some of my past experiments when I'm making craters out of clay, usually we'll blast out the center, rotate around the outside of the rim, blast out the center again, so there's essentially two layers removed, and then the arc will I'll hop over and make a rim crater. And perhaps it's reaching out beyond that boundary where there's moisture and it's still conductive. That's my theory so far, anyway. Oh, I got a little ant buddy cheering me on here. Oh, a big ant. Well, this is going for longer than I thought it would. It surely is some interesting shapes it's making as well. Also a bit surprised at the white powder that's being deposited on top. It's not a very big gap. There you go. I think you can kind of see it. It's tough. It's tough to get. There we go. So you can see a little bit more of the distance there. Yeah, it's strange. I'm getting white today versus the black yesterday, so not sure what the difference is here, unless it's just extracting some mineral that's going towards the anode and then just dusting the top that underneath is black. But I can't get a good view of it, but the underside, there's like a Teleric river going through, connecting to the cathode. So I think this is just going to continue on as long as that mineral is melted and there's a conductive path there directly to the cathode. It's just going to keep going. So I think I'm going to kill it and take a look at the results. It is black underneath with that dusty white on top. Interesting. I am not going to try to grab it right now because I bet it's really hot. But that's very interesting bubbly surface. Almost looks like a welder's bead. There for a while it was resembling some rocks that I pulled out of the ground that kind of had a spongy, almost coral-like, but it seemed like it was just minerals. I thought maybe it was a sea life fossil at first, but it's not. But anyway, that's what I've been thinking about. I want to grab it, but it's gonna be hot. I don't think I should try it. Should I? Should I try it? Oh, I can feel the heat coming off. I don't know. I'm scared. Just kidding. Yeah, it's pretty warm. See if I can grab it. Oh, there we go. Well, there it is. Definitely looks different than when I started. That's very interesting. It's kind of sunken around the edges and then all bubbled up in the middle. It does resemble obsidian inside. It's just really cool, all those little air pockets that it formed. It's gorgeous. I wonder if it's wonder if I can touch it now. Let's see how hot it is. Oh, it cooled off pretty quick. Shiny and beautiful. Definitely pulled some silica in. It's like botryoidal. I've seen a lot of really cool crystals that have that type of growth too. Oh man, it's gorgeous. And it doesn't rub off, right? So it's, well, some of the white does seem to, yep, it's coming off on my thumb. So the white is a powder that's just being deposited. I'm gonna brush it off and get it wet. See if I can get some of that white stuff off. So a lot of the white powder came off. Huh. Let's see here. Here we go, hands free now. So now I can do my business. Yeah, and you can see that right there was the pathway where it was connecting to the cathode on the bottom. and I could visibly see this spot and one other spot that was glowing underneath, reaching up for this top area when I looked at it side view, which I couldn't get on camera for you, so sorry. But what I was noticing here is I see this line. I see this line going down right here, and it's a really light form against that black. And I've always seen quartz veins going through different types of rock, and I've long thought the process of quartz growth involves electricity, right? And just voltage running through the ground. Well, that's really cool to me. I thought maybe that stuff would wipe out, but it's not. I think those were the centers of those bubbles we were first seeing when it was discharging, and it seemed like maybe whatever that white mineral, probably the silica that was being extracted through this rock, was collecting on the outside of that arc. Perhaps since it was closer to the cathode, it was organizing that mineral on this side. See, I can even see up here around these edges, we have some of that growth as well, where it's just collecting there. It's pretty cool. So really, yeah, it was probably gray before because of patina from the elements. But as soon as I get it wet, it turns more red. But you could definitely see where it oxidized more on this side. Turn that a rich red. That's pretty cool. Okay. Debating on what I want to do now. All right, so I dried it off. That's its natural sheen. I just tried scratching it with my thumbnail, and it's hard. So it has definitely fused those minerals together. Pretty cool. It's quite an interesting little shape it made there. Now I can see in the light, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, possibly 5, no, 6. It made like little pitted craters around the edges. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I don't know what I just found out. I really am just playing around. If you have any ideas of what this metamorphosed into, I'd love to hear your comments. Somebody already said obsidian, but I'm not too sure. I'll have to do some research, see what this turned into. Okay, guys, that's it for today. Bye-bye.